Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. So you guys know that I love Kai'Sa. She's my most paid right now and I have a lot of fun. And I was stalking Koreans as I normally do and I came across a slightly different way to play Kai'Sa. This is not funnel Kai'Sa either. I know we had that a while ago where you jungled Kai'Sa, you also took the mid lane farm at the same time. This is not that. This is literally just a jungle Kai'Sa. Definitely want to try some normal games first because it is a bit risky. It either works really well or kind of doesn't. It's a bit like a Nidalee, I guess, in that way. And we've got two people that I really found playing this a lot, and that is Spirit, who plays for Afrika, and from KT. It is being played in Korean Challenger and Grandmaster. They're doing it quite a lot and they're actually having a lot of success with it. So there's two things we're going to do in this video. We're going to do a mini guide and then we're going to show you some gameplay. Mini guide to start with, and these are going to be your runes. Pretty standard, right? There's nothing too crazy. We're taking Press the Attack because that's the best damage keystone for her at the moment. Increases her autos, also increases her ability damage. We're going to take our Triumph so we can gank a bit more and get the health back, attack speed, which is going to be really useful, and then either coup de grace or cut down, by the way. The middle one in precision, you can actually take this because against tanks, it's actually really good. Secondary is going to change a little bit, so it's domination, but they're taking Ghost Power, which is actually very good, and when you're a jungler, you can stack this thing up really fast and get a lot of adaptive stats, so in this case, either AP or AD for Kai'Sa. The other thing though, the Relentless Hunter, this is a real like Korean Challenger trend, I guess, just because they love move speed and moving around the map and stuff. But if you're a bit lower down, you might want to take Relentless Hunter for the heals, and that's really good for team fights. So let's go into our build. Now, first of all, we're going to be taking Red Smite pretty much every single time because your auto attacks deal bonus true damage and it reduces their damage by 20%. Kai'Sa is a pretty good duelist anyway. She's very good 1v1 when you can like kite people, outplay people, do a lot of damage with your missiles on an isolated target, and reducing their damage by 20% is going to give you that edge. You're going to upgrade that Red Smite into your Blood Razor. It gives you 50% attack speed, and this is insane, by the way. A normal Zeal item has about 35%, so it's a big jump. It makes your autos hurt a lot more. You're going to kite around, which is great, and also your objectives are going to be really strong. So you will nuke down things like a Rift Herald or like a Dragon. You do want to grab your Berserker Greaves after that, or you can grab them a little bit before if you want to, but rushing Blood Razor is normally a good idea. But get to level 11 or get a Dagger after this, and this is your E upgraded very early into the game. One of the best things about this actually is that you get your stealth at one item. Well, pretty much one item, boots, and then a dagger, right? So this is really early into the game. It gives you that natural advantage. You can pop out of bushes as well to gank people and stealth out into lane. Then we're going to go back into our kind of normal build really. We go Rage Blade, obviously with your passive and the Blood Razor damage, it's even better than on a normal Kai'Sa. Afterwards, we're getting Infinity Edge, and now just your pickaxe and a BF sword, by the way, those two component parts, that upgrades your Q. So now you have way more burst potential and it kind of plays like a normal Kai'Sa again. To round out our build, we're going to be getting a Zeal item, normally a Phantom Dancer because you already have enough damage anyway, and then a Guardian Angel or something like that. So basically get more crit to get to 50% and then a defensive item as well. You're focusing more on your auto attack damage rather than ability. That's pretty much the biggest difference, and it will feel a little bit weird to get used to it. Now, kind of how to play it. Like, normally when you stick an AD carry in the jungle, like, your early clear speed is not going to be that good. You're going to take a load of damage. But with Kai'Sa, it's actually not that bad. Normally, you're going to start your red buff and then move into your Krugs. And actually, as long as you kite, you don't really take much damage and you shred through it because all of your missiles on your Q prioritize that one target. There's two parts that let Kai'Sa do this, her passive and her Q, right? It really helps you to farm, and you just have to kite a little bit like a Nidalee, and once you get used to it, you won't take too much. Once you've gone to your reds and your Krugs, you can go for your chickens afterwards as well. Because of your Q, you actually heal for a bit, and also you'll be able to shred through them. So after that, you go into your bottom side jungle and kind of rinse and repeat. Even though you think Kai'Sa is kind of like an AFK farm champion, your ganks are not that bad because you can E in, you can slow with your red buff, red smite for the damage as well, and actually get a lot of kills. Even if you find the enemy jungler as well, it's not that bad. Like, you're actually very good 1v1, but you are going to die a lot faster. So you have to be careful you don't take too much damage, even though you can really dish it out. At level 6 though, everything becomes way easier. It's kind of like a Nocturnal. I know it sounds really weird, but any crowd control from a laner means that you can fly in from out of vision. You can literally be behind, like down the lane a little bit further. You can be in a bush, you can be over a wall, whatever it is. Get your laner to layer some crowd control on them and then fly on in, and they won't expect a thing. That is a basic rundown of how you can play it. So now we're going to go into some gameplay from Spirit. He had a pretty good game on it, and it really showcases like why you would want to pick Kai'Sa and the stuff you really want to do. We're going to look at stuff like pathing and how you actually want to play the early game, but I really can't stress it enough, by the way, it is so hard to shut down if she has a lead. It isn't going to be that good if you get behind as Kai'Sa, obviously, because AD carries are not that good when they are behind. But if you get ahead, it's pretty much the same thing. It's just even harder to kill. You have Red Smite, 20% less damage from anybody trying to kill you, and stealth at one item. If you're going to try this, I definitely recommend you go into a normal game first because it's a little bit weird to get used to kite the camps and stuff and to learn your pathing, but also the damage is a bit different because it's mostly auto-based and not ability like you're used to. Okay, so we're jumping into a game with Afrika Spirit. This is one of the games I wanted to focus on because it's pretty interesting. So he actually already died. If you look, he's 0 and 1. They had a little level 1 fight. The cool thing is, like, I know a lot of people say that she's going to struggle too much in the early game, especially when you're trying to farm, but he's actually going to solo red buff just by basically kiting around using his Q. You can see how much damage that's doing because it's isolated. So the first buff take is actually pretty good. And as long as you kite around like this and you do extend it out, try to reset it because that would suck. It's actually not that bad at all. So he goes first Q and then into E afterwards for the attack speed, which is really good. He's going to smite Krugs. Doesn't always do that though. Partially that's just because of the red buff. But this route is really popular right now. It can give you a very early experience lead, and it can also mean that you can gank top lane pretty early into the game if you want to. So as you can see though, literally just kiting around, trying to get the passive procs as much as possible, using his Q. I'm going to skip through this as well because the purpose of this early part is just to show you like pathing wise. The burn, perfectly calculated, of course, but I guess that's what you expect from a kind of challenger player. I'm going to kite around and take the little chickens out first because they're doing a lot of damage. But as you can see, like, honestly, he's not really losing much health. He hasn't used his smite or anything on this camp at all. A lot of it is just like the missiles really heal, and the red buff at this point is helping quite a lot. The red buff's going to heal him as well. Getting level 3. Moving into the bottom side of his jungle. Now, we can see that his blue buff's actually gone, but he doesn't know that yet. Obviously, he's kiting around here. Gragas has actually taken his blue and invaded, which kind of sucks. But this is also kind of cool because it will show you that Kai'Sa is not like... You can't really bully her that easy. He's going to run straight over here towards Gragas' blue. He's actually not going to do it straight away. He's going to try and wait for the Gragas, right? So Gragas is going to turn up here. And this is basically normal Kai'Sa at this point. Use your W first, guaranteed, for the 2 passive stacks, also the damage. Then use your Q, isolated, auto attacks, get the passive, and there's going to be Gragas instantly dead. I'm not too sure why he doesn't go for the blue buff here, but he does go for the top lane. I think Tom is going to solo kill this anyway, so it doesn't really even matter at that point. But you can see that when you isolate somebody, especially when you're not being focused and you're laying the trap, Kai'Sa actually does a stupid amount of damage, even really, really early into the game. Crab taking is not that good though, because you have no way to remove the armor magic resist. That part does suck. But apart from that, like, you're actually, as long as you don't get jumped on by like an Udyr or something and you're not focused down, like, it's actually really good. Your damage is really high. So that is really how you play like the early stages of the game, I guess. But I'm obviously not going to show you just like how farming for like 10 minutes because that's not particularly fun. But Kai'Sa's actually 0-2 right now. Not doing the hottest. Has the Blood Razor, which is like the big power spike, the first power spike you're going to have. I'm going to see the first kind of gank action in this game. So we're going to try and do a little bit. And as you can see, once you've used your E, if you're not prepared to use your ultimate, and this actually, her ultimate is on cooldown right now. You can see in the bottom left. There's not much you can actually really do too much. But this is actually why, even without that, her ganks don't suck even pre level 6. So we're going to see Kai'Sa run out in a second. Use her flash. Red smite Q, and it's isolated Q damage as well. Press attack is going to proc on that as well. And then that is the most important part though. If you can get a laner isolated away from their minions, your Q does so much more damage. Very important for trying to pick up the kill. Hit your W if you can do, obviously, but red smite and isolated Q damage is pretty much going to be a kill in every single case. I mentioned this in the video as well, but this is another thing that Kai'Sa is just really good once you get Blood Razor. So it just has Blood Razor right now, but really good at taking objectives on her own, kind of. Like, normally an AD carry can't really do that well, but I mean, Karma's kind of here, kind of not. But because of Blood Razor, like, it's actually going down really fast, you can see. So with a team around it, it will pretty much vanish completely. And this is a big part about Kai'Sa anyway. When you have Blood Razor, when you have your passive together as well, you don't really take too much damage from it, which is really nice. But you do actually shred it down, so you can have really good objective control. We're only like 14 minutes into the game right now. The game is kind of steadily going on, and Kai'Sa hasn't really done a ton. And this is I partly wanted to show you it just because you can say that Kai'Sa gets fed early and it doesn't really count in a lot of games. I don't want to show you a game like that. But right now, she has her stealth already because of her item. She's going to land the W on the Nico and then go in with her ultimate. This is like normal Kai'Sa, but this is why jungle Kai'Sa works so well, because you are roaming around and you're that constant threat. Like, that was a 1v1 between Nico and Karma. Any other jungler can't join that fight except maybe like a Nocturne or something like that, and Kai'Sa can fly on in and get it, right? So if we look at items though, it is literally the Blood Razor, the Berserker Greaves, and the Dagger, which is why I said in the video is going to upgrade your E. So her E is stealth now. She's going to be able to stealth around. She's ultra safe with the red smite, with the Blood Razor. And this is kind of like a good example as well. Just get the dragon earlier, get a kill, now turn that kill into a Rift Herald. And this thing is melting. Like, she doesn't have Rage Raid yet. It is really just Blood Razor, just a passive. Able to nuke it down really fast. So another thing I said in the video was that Kai'Sa can't really burst with this build. It's more auto-based and stuff. But actually, if you isolate your Q damage, you can see on the Gragas here, hits W, hits isolated Q damage, and obviously Nautilus applies a lot of passive, which is really good synergy anyway, but that Gragas absolutely got deleted, right? So you do have some burst because you're Kai'Sa still. It's just not going to be as high as before. You're going to have to auto attack a little bit more than normal, than you normally would if you're playing AD. So now we've got to the extra power point. So this is the first fight of the game where Spirit is going to have his E and his Q upgraded because he's finally got the pickaxe and also the BF sword towards his Infinity Edge. With the Rage Blade, that is going to be upgrading. Now basically he's got the pickaxe BF sword build that you kind of rush as AD carry, right? This is the first fight after he's got that upgraded. Now, once you have your Q upgraded with a Blood Razor, with a Rage Blade, you suddenly have a huge mix of ability damage and also auto. And now we're going to see what kind of happens. So, it's level 14, but look how quickly this Gragas and this Ezreal die. It's literally just auto attacks from Spirit at this point. And then when he does Q, he does really heavily burst. But that Ezreal was pretty much basically just basic attacks at that point. Gragas was completely deleted. This is where Jungle Kai'Sa kind of takes off. So if you can get to this point in the game, we're 20 minutes in right now. He has a really good farm. You're not probably going to have 130 farm as a jungler. But once you get to 2.5 items with that upgrade on your Q and your E, this is when you really can pretty much kill everybody and just completely take over the game. So I'm going to show you this because I want to show you how quickly you can delete Barons, especially because, I mean, obviously this team comp is really good. They've got Karma, Tarm, and stuff for the Kai'Sa, which is great. Ezreal kind of like does a bit of an int TP here. Good W though to land in, and you can see that that is basically Q, like 1 or 2 auto attacks and a W as well. And this is where the burst comes in from the upgraded Q. But if we look now, this is going to be a Nautilus, a Karma, and a Tahm Kench, right? They don't have any damage for this Baron at all. This is basically just Kai'Sa. And look how fast this thing is going down. This is like, is it 3 items? No, 2.5 item Kai'Sa deleted a Baron 21 minutes into the game that fast. It's honestly kind of crazy. I know we keep saying this, by the way, is the weird spectator thing where Mordekaiser's in his ult right now, chasing down the Karma, so you can't see him. He's about to pop out. There we go. And then delete it again. But this is one of the really, really good parts about Kai'Sa and why you want to pick her anyway, because she just really gives you that objective advantage and you have that constant threat that you can just rush a Baron and turn the game around. So that's going to wrap up the video. Let me know what you think of this kind of mini guide plus breakdown, I guess, replay breakdown or whatever of somebody actually doing it. Thank you for watching until the very end. Hope you enjoyed the video. And yeah, for now, I will leave you with the robots.